Hey, this is Justin with Quantum Leads, and today I'll be walking through your digital marketing attack plan to show you how you can turn your website into a lead generation machine and really increase the revenues to your business month over month. Now, if you take a look at the top here, we're looking at AC Repair in Houston, which generates about 1,600 searches every single month. Now, it's got to be a lot more than that when you think about all the other terms such as AC repair near me, AC installation, and all those other variations of this keyword. But for the sake of this video and time, we're just going to focus on this one variation, which generates 1,600 searches every single month. Now let's talk about how we can turn that 1,600 searches into revenue for your business by starting with your website. So here we are on your website, specifically your air conditioning repair page for the Houston area. And we're talking about internal search engine optimization, which is going to help us lay the foundation for our website's ranking. And what internal SEO is it's essentially all the different things that we can do from within your website itself to improve your search appearance. Now, normally you're going to hear a lot of fancy things like title tags, heading tags, local business schema. And while we do those things for our SEO package, we don't focus on them for this video because we're going to focus on the two most important parts, which are content and keywords. Now, let's start off with content here. Why do we want a lot of content on our website? Now, the reason we're going to want a lot of content on our website is because Google tends to promote websites that are very contentful a lot more favorably. And it makes sense when you think about it because content gives users something to engage with, which promotes a positive user experience, ultimately leading to a user coming back to Google in the future for other searches, or even just coming back to your website. So it's essentially a win-win scenario for Google, where if they promote your website, they can have a user come back in the future. So it makes a lot of sense when you think about it like that. But we don't just want any content on our website. Normally, I like to recommend 750 to 1,000 words, but we don't just want anything for those 750 to 1,000 words. We want relevant content. And now, how do we make sure our content is relevant? Well, we do that with keywords. Now, keywords are the most used words or phrases on a website, and based on these words or phrases, Google is going to determine what our website or our web page is about. Now, we want to make sure, normally, I like to tell people that we have very industry specific keywords and we make sure to answer the three main questions for Google. Now, those three main questions are number one, what do we do? Number two, where do we do it? And number three, who are we? So let's kind of look at your keywords and see if they answer those integral questions for Google. So here we are on a tool I use called Keywords Everywhere. And if we scroll down here, you're going to notice your most used keywords to your least used keywords. Obviously, if we keep scrolling, you're going to see lesser and less used words. Let's start at the top here. We have air. Air is actually a really good industry-specific keyword. It's very popular amongst other AC repair companies. So that's actually a really good keyword to start things off. Now, number two, I like to recommend some sort of modifier or complement to the first keyword. Now, in this case, you use service, which isn't bad. But service is very broad. Normally, I'd like to recommend something like repair or maybe installation at that number two keyword. But let's keep working down the line here. Number three and number four. Now, number three and four, I recommend to be location-based keywords. The reason having location in your top keywords is so important is because it really stresses to Google where you do business and what type of local traffic they should be giving you. So number three and four, we want our location. Number three being our city, so in this case, Houston, and number four being Texas. Now, number five and six, I normally recommend people having their brand somewhere in their top six keywords. Now, the reason being is that a lot of people think that they automatically rank number one because they own their domain. However, that's not always the case. Sometimes a business has a very similar name to you, or maybe even a business across the world in another country has a very similar name. So we want to rank for our business name at all times, both on a local and national level. So I always recommend putting your brand within your top six keywords. Now, let's go over to your competitors and see what they're doing as far as content and keywords go. So here we have AirTech of Houston, and they rank number one organically for AC repair in that Houston area. So let's see why. So right away, they have a ton of content. In fact, it's over 1,000 words of content just on this page alone. And you'll see that there's nothing fancy about it. There's no images, there's nothing to it, just straight content. And they're receiving those favorable rankings because of it. Now, obviously, it's not just content giving them that number one spot. So let's see how relevant their keywords are. So once again, we're back to keywords everywhere. And if we scroll down here, we have their keywords. We have number one, we have air. So pretty good job. You guys have the same number one keyword. But then immediately you notice that they have that location-based keyword. So like I said, you really stress the importance of that location-based keyword. And it's really doing some work for them. So obviously I don't recommend having it at number two, maybe at three and four, but they did go to that location-based keywords and you see how it's working for them. Then they have service, home. So the keywords are okay after that. I'd really recommend, like I said, your location, your brand, but use their keywords as kind of a guide as well to see what works for them and how it can apply to your business as well. But let's go back to your website and talk about external search engine optimization. So external SEO is essentially all the different ways that you can improve your website search appearance off-site. So in this case, we're going to be talking about backlinking. Backlinking is very simple at face value. It's just a link from one website to another. But from an SEO perspective, there's a lot more that's going on. So what's going on from an SEO perspective is that SEO power is being transferred from one website to another. And essentially what's going on is a website is telling Google that I recommend or I support this business. So it works really well when you get a backlink from a quality website because it's essentially a quality website telling Google that you're a quality website. So very simple. However, we have to walk a very fine tightrope here because harmful backlinks or spammy backlinks can tell Google that we are also a harmful or spammy backlink or spammy site, I should say. And this happens all the time. I see people go on Fiverr, they buy $50 worth of backlinks, and it gets them 10,000 backlinks. They throw them all on their site and they expect it to jump up the next day, but it ends up tanking 50 positions because a lot of times they're spammy or harmful backlinks. So really something to think about. Let's take a look at your backlink structure with a tool I have called Ahrefs and see what we can, kind of understand about what you've been doing so far. So here we are in Ahrefs. You'll see your current web page generates a 1 UR, a 3.8 DR, putting you in the top 100 for 24 keywords, but generating you no organic traffic. So we really want to improve on these metrics. Now, what do these metrics mean though? So UR stands for URL rating, and what that is the individual power given to a single web page. So in this case, we're just talking about your AC repair page in the Houston area. Now, DR, on the other hand, stands for domain rating. And what that is the power that goes through your entire website. So now we're not just talking about this page anymore. We're talking about your home page, your About Us page. Every single one of these pages is summarized in DR. So let's take a look at your competitors and see what they're doing as far as UR and DR, after we looked at their internal SEO structures. So here we are on AirTech of Houston with a 33 UR, a 36 DR. They rank in the top 100 for 2,100 keywords and generate on average 2,200 users every single month. Now, something really important to look at here is the traffic value. Now, traffic value is a stat that determines the amount of value a user brings depending on where they're coming from in their search results. Now, a good example of this is somebody who looks up AC repair has a lot more traffic value than somebody who's looking up air conditioning. Now, the reason that is that somebody who's looking for AC repair 99% of the time is looking to repair their AC unit and looking to get services. Whereas somebody who's looking for air conditioning, just as a base term, might be looking for a picture of an air conditioner, might be looking for an installation, maybe a repair. You don't know what they're looking for because it's very broad, so it doesn't generate as much buyer intent. Now, based on the buyer intent, that Ahrefs assigns, they're estimating that this traffic is worth $63,000 month over month. So definitely something to think about. But let's keep working our way down the line here. We have Marco's AC with a 19 UR and a 0.8 DR, which generates about 798 users every single month and almost $20,000 worth of value. And then we have Abacus Plumbing, which has a 27 UR, a 46 DR, 509 users every single month, and about $16,000 worth of value. So you clearly see the correlation between a strong internal and external SEO structure and what type of traffic and value you can generate for your website. But let's go back to the Google search engine results page and talk about the Google Map Pack. So here we are back on the search engine results page, and if you take a look down here, what we've been talking about is the organic search results. However, if we scroll back up here, you're going to notice this map pack. Now, this map pack is super important because it gives businesses two different places that you could be seen on Google. Now, to get into the map pack, you first have to fill out the GMB form to 100% and verify your business via postcard. And now to rank in the map pack, you have to adhere to the different factors that the Google Map Pack is looking for. So number one, they're looking that you filled out that form to 100%. The reason I always say 100% is because the more information you give them, the more reputable your business looks. Number two, they're looking for a strong organic presence. So SEO not only helps them down below to rank in the organic search results, but it also helps influence the map pack. And number three, they're looking for citations. Citations are all the different places your business's name, address, and phone number are listed online. And some popular citations are things like Yelp, maybe Yellow Pages, Facebook. All those are different citations you can get for your business. and they help with the Google Map Pack. So let's take a look at how many citations each of these companies has and determine how many you'll need to go in and start ranking a little bit better. If you take a look here, we have H-Town AC Repair with 23 citations, ASAP Air, AC and Heating with 63, and Richmond's Air with 14. So all in all, there is a really big competitor with 63 citations. So I normally recommend that you double the biggest number. So in this case, you'll need 126 citations to rank number one, along with those other factors such as, 100% filled out GMB profile, a strong organic rank. So definitely something to think about. But this is all I have for you in this video. And if you do follow these steps, you should see an increase in traffic to your website. But once again, there was a ton of things that we didn't get to talk about in this video for time's sake. So we'd love to set up a meeting to talk about those or maybe any questions you had on this video. Once again, this is Justin Gilman with Quantum Leads. Thanks for watching.